right. Yeah, Sean, I got to say that your Mongolian stories are hilarious, especially the toilet paper one. Like, people don't that stuff happens, dude, especially when you're abroad.
This is true. And it's like the other things, like hot water, for example, showering in a bucket. It's like, it's not that bad, but like toilet paper, like you're in a pinch if you don't have any. So here's a story. Never told this one on Footwork. So me, my American friend, my 3 Japanese teammates were at a team barbecue out in like the middle of nowhere with the team. And we see this massive mountain out in the probably like, I don't know, a mile away. It looks close, but it's not close at all. So we start hiking. We're hiking up this thing, hiking up. We finally get there. There's wild horses. We see foxes. Crazy. And then like, dude, I got to take a shit. But like, there's nothing around here. So keep in mind, to get to this place, we had to crawl under like a few farms and like their barbed wire fences. And I cut my shirt. The back of my shirt was all ripped. And it was, Michael Murphy, Murph the Protector, like Navy SEAL so it was his shirt. That shirt, it's like the workout on it. So I was like, man, you know what? It would be dope to like leave his shirt in Mongolia, on top of this mountain and use it to the most of it. So,
oh man.
I did what I had to do, and his shirt is now forever in Mongolia on a mountain that I don't think a person will ever go to ever again. So it's there.
Did you like hang it up at least? Did you put a stick down and like put it up like
I couldn't find any sticks, but it's definitely laid properly.
I wonder how he would feel knowing that you used his shirt as toilet paper on the top of a mountain in Mongolia.
Totally honored. I mean, it was all ripped already. It was the entire back, basically from the neck to the bottom, was ripped from this fence, and it was trashed essentially. So I was like, you know what? Why not?
If we ever make Footwork merch, like I would be honored if someone used it as toilet paper, 100%.
Oh, and leave it somewhere like that? I mean, that piece of dirt will probably never be touched again.
All right, we got to keep going.
All right, and that's it for today. So I'll see you next time.
So if you guys have noticed, we have a new voice on the pod today. This is my boy, Patrick Sullivan. We played together 1 year at Grittitan in Sweden, which was a hell of an experience. I'm sure we'll get into a bunch today. But Pat, you've played now how many years out of college?
About 3 now, 3.5. Might be approaching 3.5. Yeah.
So 3.5, and you played at Spook Rock, correct?
Slippery Rock.
Slippery Rock.
I was like, Spook Rock? What is this? A Halloween joke?
Because people call it like the Slimy Pebble and other stuff, so I thought you were throwing some shade, but I never heard Spook Rock before.
No, honestly, I just had a brain fart there. It's after training. I'm a little tired right now, so I'm sorry.
In the Halloween spirit.
That's a great start to the podcast. Got to guess the college wrong. So we played at Slippery, the slipperiest of rocks, and then what? Give us a little details about what happened after that.
Yeah, so I finished up my senior year. We didn't have too good of a year, and I was basically just like any other kid, Googling tryouts, how to break into the pro game, and I came across Soccer Visa. I mean, you guys know that situation. So I went out to Connecticut, or I think it was like probably actually around this time last year, 3 years ago maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
and
we're heading towards November, yeah.
Yeah, well, I had to go to that like the qualifier thing,
Yeah, it was like an ID camp, right?
Yeah, I had to go
to make sure that you're not playing with baseball cleats.
Yeah, pretty much. And I did like really well, and then Joe was like, yeah, and then come back the next weekend. So I left. I think it was on a Monday and Tuesday. I had to miss class and stuff. I talked to my professor, and she thought I was absolutely insane. She was like, "What are you like? Why?"
Really?
Yeah, I swear, bro. She tried to knock me attendance points, and I was like, "What do you mean? Like, this is like, what if I get a job from it? Blah blah blah." And I mean, that's just part of it, though. When you chase a dream, you're gonna have people that think you're crazy. But
now, did you tell her like, I want to be a professional football player, and she just looked at you like you had?
Yeah, she kind of laughed at me, honestly. No, but she's like, her name's Dr. Higgs. She's an awesome person. Like, she was a great advisor, all that stuff. But I think she actually played. She was an Olympic athlete for the Welsh field hockey team.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I was I was a little taken back, but kind of whatever. So yeah, I did. It was like an 8.5-hour drive, man. I was there by myself. I stayed probably in Airbnb, literally like the size of a closet, man. Like, Literally,
kind
just
of sets the stage.
I had a bed, a TV, probably like as big as a laptop, and it had Netflix on it, and I was chilling.
You were chilling, man. That was good.
Yeah, that's all you need, right?
But did you get anything after this soccer visa? So you balled, but did you get anything?
No, so I went back to the showcase weekend, next weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that Bjorn guy told me that he was gonna get me a trial in Iceland. I played really well those 3 days, and he said he was gonna try and get me a trial in Iceland. Even Joe said the same thing, and I was like, I was so naive at the time. I was like, oh my god, no way, man!
Like you think like it's 100%, right?
Yeah, like I'm like sold on it. Like I'm calling my friends on the way home and telling them that,
Yo,
like,
I'm a
yeah,
pro.
yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna go get a pro contract in Europe. Like, it's gonna start in January. Like, I'll have to finish school later. Like,
And everyone's like, "Oh shit, Patty!"
Yeah, and that just didn't happen at all. And then Joe hit me up about that, shit. But you learn though. Like, I learned there's a lot of like false promises. I would say probably doing this.
Yeah, I think you also just like until me and Sean talk about this all the time. Until like you're signed on the dot, like nothing is official. Do not ever take someone's word as Bible ever.
Yeah, and even when you don't know it's official till you get that paycheck. Honestly, even when you sign, man, you
seriously.
And also too, you need
paid, man. That's a big thing.
You can get a contract and pay, for example, but if they don't get your player pass, you can't play.
There's so many things, man. It's like
other issues with like your previous team not releasing you, and then you're stuck. And then the transfer window closes, and then you're screwed. I mean, that can happen, and it's happened actually on my team right now. There's a few players that it happened to, and it's that sucks.
Until everything has come together and you're playing, you're getting paid. Like I never rest anymore.
You cannot believe it.
Too many things have happened, and you wouldn't believe like how it's just never definite. But let's come back to Patty. So Patty, you didn't get anything in Iceland, unfortunately. But so what happens next? That's like the winter of this combine series, right?
Yeah. So that's where we met, is on that showcase trip in Iceland. We had a really good team, I thought, honestly, man, for sure.
I thought me and you did very well against Valor. Right?
Yeah, probably Icelandic Champions League qualifiers, like.
Yeah, I think they were just short of Champions League. I think they've made the Europa League before. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but they're like the best team.
League qualifiers, but they always got bounced early, so they got to Europa League qualifiers.
Yeah. So we did well, but amongst
that's a sore subject.
Amongst a snowstorm, there was a winter hurricane, as they said, a winter hurricane when we were in Iceland.
No, that was crazy. I thought we were gonna die on the way to that game, bro.
No, I forgot about that. Patty, go on about that game.
Yeah, so actually how it started is there was a team in like the fourth tier that wanted to like bring me on trial, and we were gonna play after we played that one. Who was it? IA we played?
IA Acronays or something like this.
Yeah. So I was supposed to play with a team after that, and my trial game got canceled because of the winter hurricane. And then so we still somehow went on that bus trip, man. I literally thought I was gonna die, man. We were riding. I don't even know what type of bus it was. Like just like a travel, like a.
It was like it was like one of those. It's like a big van, really.
Yeah, and it's just snow. You can't see anything. Like, yo, and then did you remember when we saw that dude walking his dog outside?
Dude, there's nothing around. It's literally for miles. It seems like there's nothing, and it's complete snowstorm. And this guy just walking his dog like it's a random Tuesday, just getting it done.
Yeah, it's funny though. It's cool though when you go there and you see the culture. Like that's just everyday life to them. That's like nothing. That's just another day.
That was crazy though. Yeah, we barely made it in that snowstorm to go play that game.
Yeah, we lost that game too. It sucked because we were better than them.
Yeah. So I think that was a good experience. But like I've mentioned, and now we both didn't get anything in Iceland, but we had a very similar next step, right?
Yeah, land of the free, gritty time.
Land of the free. Oh man. Yeah. So basically, we the founders there at Soccer Visa, when we didn't get anything in Iceland, they had a bunch of us that said, off recommendation, we'll send you to this team in Sweden. Grytitan, as Pat says, the land of the free. Now, for me, it was a difficult decision. For you, was it like, were you definitely in from the get-go, or like, what was your thought process?
It was a no-brainer, man, because it was my first thing out of college. Like, I was so naive at the time, you know. I didn't care where it was. I just wanted to play. I was looking back on it, I probably would have, I don't know, maybe I would have made a different decision, but I always look at it like, you know, you just got to do what you got to do, man. Like, even, you know, like, that's kind of how I looked at it.
Yeah.
It was not a great situation, but, I mean, we made the most of it.
We definitely made the most of it. Oh, man.
And hold on. Let's stop there, though, but explain the situation, because I know it, but, like, it's such a crazy who was on the team. Just explain that whole part, because that's insane for people that don't know.
Yeah, so there was what, Dylan, eight of us from Soccer Visa that went?
It changed throughout the season, but I think it started off with 8, yeah.
And we lived, no joke, in a 3-bedroom apartment with 8 grown men.
Oh, yeah, I was in the living room.
Yeah,
Was
well,
this,
the first night you slept there in that tiny closet with Julian, you two, like, literally, 2 beds were, like, touching each other. Oh, my God. It was smaller than a dorm room, like, straight up.
I remember I walked in the house, and I'm like, we've been talking, we had a group chat already. We've been talking like, oh, like, guys, we're going to perform. We're going to, you know, win the league. We're going to make our way up quickly. Like, it's going to be a great time. We're going to get better. And I just remember walking in being so excited after a long day of travel. And I get there and I look at 7 other faces looking back at me because I was the last one there. And you guys may have been there for a day and you all just looked depleted. Like, you looked like the life had been sucked out of you. You looked at me like, oh, you're not going to be happy, yo. They're like, I think it was Marcus. Maybe it was you. You're all like, wait till you see where you're sleeping.
That's too funny. And it was Easter weekend, the first weekend we got there. And, like, what people don't understand is, like, a small town in Europe on a holiday weekend, they shut down. I mean, like, everything is closed. Like, it's
I barely got there.
Yeah, and, like, first weekend, Easter weekend, not a thing's open. There's, like, 8 feet of snow on the ground. We would just walk to the grocery store for something to do. Like,
this is so true, though. We'd be like, is anyone trying to go to the grocery store? Like, I went 3 times today.
And speaking of grocery store, is this the team where condiments were a problem, right?
Yeah,
pick one a week.
We could only get ketchup, but we couldn't get ketchup and barbecue sauce. We had to pick one or the other.
Struggle, man.
Oh, man.
You really start to question life when you're faced with ketchup or barbecue sauce, because you got to think for a whole week, like, what am I gonna make? What?
I mean, Pat, what were you going for there? Ketchup or barbecue sauce?
Pat, actually, fun fact, Pat had a shipment from the U.S. and it arrives, man, and it's this massive box, like, huge, and it's just a care package. Was it your mom?
Yeah, my mom. Yeah.
His mom sent, and there's like 10 of us are huddled around looking at what's inside this box. Pat looks like he's a kid on Christmas. He opens up, huge thing of Frank's Red Hot Sauce is the first thing I see. Like, what else was there, Pat? What else was in this care package?
Just like protein, candy, Pop-Tarts. My mom's the best, man. I'm
like, what candy? I can't remember. Was there like Oreos or something?
It was a big thing, like one of them ginormous bags of Sour Patch Kids.
I remember, poor Pat, people asking him for his Frank's Red Hot Sauce because we're probably out of barbecue sauce that week. And Pat would be like, all right, you get 2 drops.
Literally, brother. I couldn't. I love you. I love you guys to death, man. But I could not share that. That was the one thing.
I completely understand, man. I completely understand. But let's go into it. Besides some of the funny stories, so I mean, God, we were there for a full season, and we're the champs, baby.
Oh yeah, Division 4 champs, man.
Division 4 champs.
Club.
let's go into that. I want to start with the other teams and the referees.
Oh my God.
So give us your experiences with that.
Well, what do you want to go first with the other teams, or should we just say that the other teams and the referees all hated us?
It was one giant conspiracy. Let's start it at that.
They hated
I wonder
us, man.
why.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, I get it.
we're all American, yeah.
I totally get it. I think one time, Omar, asked, like something like, "Why did you call that? Like, is it because we're American?" And the guy was like, "Yes." And we're like, "Whoa, that sounds like an admission of guilt."
Man, they hated us. We literally played against 14 people every game. Like, we did not – like, it could be an obvious slide tackle in the box, and, like, we're not getting that pen. Like, there's no way.
There's not
Someone
a chance.
could take a handball off the line. We're not getting that pen. Like, we literally had to play against 14 people every Saturday.
It was tough. I
But you
mean,
got it done.
we did get it done. Patty definitely held it down in the back. So, I mean, Pat, I know we definitely have some more stories, but like, yes, it was a tough time, but like, do you feel like it helped shape you as a player or kind of solidify that this was something that you were like ready to still chase and like this was just the start?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that was the big thing, was doing something like that, going to a small town where like there's nothing to do besides like play ball. So like to me, like it was tough, but it kind of just showed like what you really have to do and like focus on every day to like really make it, you know, to be able to get paid to do what we do. So like it was a really good learning experience. It was really tough. Like, I mean, mentally it was so hard, man. But all in all, like I think it was a positive experience in a way. Like we had an awesome time. I mean, we made really good friends from it, but at the same time, it just showed how much you really have to sacrifice, I think, to like do what we do. I think that's the biggest thing.
Especially like I mean, it wasn't my start. We'll get into that later because we have very similar stories in a way. But yeah, so it being like your first start, I feel like, you know, it being not what you probably thought. You said you were naive a little bit. It's not. Yeah. It's not like, you know, glamorous and such, but it's after that it could make you or break you. Like some people could like stop and give up the dream, but for you, that was no question. It was going to continue, right?
Yeah, no question, man. I mean, even when I started in college, man, when I started right after senior year, I didn't even apply for like one real job. Like this was like, this is what I'm going to do. Like there was no plan B. This was like, I'm doing this. I don't care where I got to go. Like, this is what I'm doing.
And what jobs have you held as part-time as you're chasing this dream?
I coached back home for a club called Arsenal, and I worked at Whole Foods after Sweden.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a cashier assistant, man. I bagged groceries 40 hours a week.
Standing 6'5", just towering over these people as they come in and they swipe their organic cheeses and soy cheeses.
Great place. I got like a 25% discount. My mom loved it. It honestly was a great place to work for.
Hell yeah.
They probably have great barbecue sauce there. So, but let's go back to that. So why did you know, I'm assuming this was not, where did this thought of playing professional, where did this start? You know, was this in college? Was it before college? Was it after college? Like, where did this begin growing?
So it started definitely, I would say, in college. So I actually played at Duquesne for 2 years in Pittsburgh, but I played like 5 minutes in 2 years. Like I was that guy, like at the end of the bench that I didn't even travel on like one away trip with Duquesne. So I was at a point there where I was like really frustrated with the game and everything. And I decided, my dad was like, why don't you just transfer to like Slippery Rock? Like, you know, you'd probably play like every game. And I was like, at the time I was never thinking about going pro or anything. Cause I was like, I just wanted to play soccer and like have fun. Cause, you know, in college at first I wasn't really thinking about that. And then my first year at Slippery Rock, I had like a great year. We won the conference championship. I started every game, played like every minute. So like I was at like an all-time low at Duquesne, and then Slippery Rock I was at an all-time high. And I think going there and like playing the game again and playing games and just winning and like obviously winning a championship, I think it really gave me like that like self-confidence, I think, and that self-belief that I was missing at Duquesne. And after that, I was kind of like, all right, like, yeah, I do want to try and go pro. So then that next summer, going into my junior year, I moved up to Erie Commodores, and I played for like an MPSL team, which was a really cool experience because that was the very first time where I like got out of my comfort zone and I went somewhere where I didn't know anyone again. And I had to compete for a spot against really good players. And that was really eye-opening to me, where I, again, didn't play the first like 4 games. And then I finally started playing and I got it. That's just more confidence. Like as I kept playing, I just got so much more confident. And that was probably it. Probably my junior year is really when I started to think like, okay, like I can definitely do this. Like my junior year, I made all conference. I made like all region. So like I got like those awards that obviously give like a player like a lot of confidence. And that's kind of where it started.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example, too, of how just changing your environment could be all it takes in any situation. You were probably miserable at Duquesne because you're not playing, and you're not even part of the team. And then here you go the next year and you're, the star of the team and then making all conference and so on. I mean, our guest, Kim DeCesar, she spoke about that. Like you don't fall out of love with the game. You just hate your environment. So change the environment. It's not the game that you hate.
Yeah, it's so true. So true.
So you played a little bit it was MPSL, then you went to Sweden with me. We enjoyed some good times. One more story that just popped to mind was so as the year went on, we gained like a couple more Americans because we just like didn't really have any other, like we had a couple other players, but we didn't really have too many players left. It was a very thin bench. And I remember one kid came to training one time and he had his phone in his pocket.
Oh my God. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my God.
We warm up and then we we do like a rondo. We're kicking it around. And this kid, like the ball goes away and the kid like pulls his phone out. And we like all kind of look at each other like, what is going on?
We were doing rondos, right?
Yeah, he did just rondos, and he just checks it casually, puts it back in his pocket, and he's ready to go again. Rocking some sweatpants.
Oh my God, the bathing suit kid's the best story, man.
Oh, man. This kid showed up in a bathing suit, like he had bathing suit shorts on.
He's ready for the rain.
He was ready.
He's ahead of everyone else.
He was ready.
He couldn't even I don't want to be harsh, but man, he couldn't even pass the ball, bro. I
think he was one. I think that was his first and last practice.
Yeah. No, I think he came one more time, and then we told Dino, we were like, "Yeah, these kids can't come anymore, man. Come on."
Yeah, props to our coach because he's in the same position as us. Dino, is it Simpson or Sibson?
I think it's Simpson. The second one.
So we had like 10, 11 Americans, sometimes 8, and an English coach from he was like from Liverpool area, from like up there. And I mean, he really did make the best out of him. I really appreciate him for that because the club kind of, didn't give him the resources either. And so he ran some really good sessions with us and with us like in small groups too, because, he's a young guy just trying to make it. So.
Yeah, he was a phenomenal coach, man.
Yeah, I'd say that I learned the most from him.
Hands down, dude. He was unbelievable.
He just tactically, he just knew everything. I was like, damn, are all English people like this?
He was unbelievable, man.
Now, Pat, I know Dylan, this wasn't his first stint, but how do you keep your motivation when you're at this club? Because like you said, you guys didn't really know all the info and it was a much lower league than I'm sure you would imagine. But at the same time, you're going to make the best of it because you're there, right? It's your first stint. How do you keep going with this? Of course, maybe it's different when you have Americans with the same drive, like, all right, maybe this is not what we wanted, but let's make the best of this. Let's win this year and then get promoted and then see where that goes.
Yeah, so I think a big part, honestly, has to be, like, the group of guys that we were with. Like, we trained all the time together. Like, without those guys, I would have left after, like, a month. Like, honestly, like, we all, like, we were in it together. And, we really pushed each other, and that's to me that was really helpful. Because being abroad, man, like I have an immense amount of respect for you two playing abroad because it's not easy, like, you know, being by yourself in a foreign country. So having
No,
those,
it's not that
yeah, I don't know, I'm a little different now after my experiences. I have a
bad.
different taste for it.
I'd
But
say,
it was,
Yeah, I hear you.
yeah. No, just
yeah,
to build off what Pat said, I think to bring it to the changes, it was like we surrounded ourselves with, I mean, not even purposely because I mean they were chosen, but I guess we all took this chance at this combine and took this chance at like a broad trial. So we did surround ourselves with people who shared the same goal, and like at the end of the day, we just had such great times laughing about our situation, like making the best out of it. Like the stories, we won't even get to like a quarter of the stories that we have, and the people that we met. And yeah, I totally agree with Pat. I think it would have been tough to really stick out that specific situation without that group of guys, because we would push each other every day. If someone was slacking off, you know, if our youngest
but
our
when you go
youngest
home,
brother,
and it would be like,
yeah,
yeah,
our youngest brother
yeah,
Julian
man,
there, if he was slacking off, we'd tell him to get his ass up. We're going to the field or we're going to the gym. You know, it's like there's no excuse. But that's all we could do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, man. But and then in terms of to go on the second part, I think a lot of it is what I've been learning is like you have to you can't just dwell on the present. Like just realize like I learned this in Australia big time was like it's all just part of the journey. Really is what kind of like the big picture, like keeping an eye on the big picture for me was like key, because I was just like this is just temporary. This is almost just like a short term like jail sentence or something, and then I'm ready to get out.
What would Marcus say? This is the longest summer camp ever.
Yeah.
I like that though. Like that's a totally good point. Like especially for people who take their first contract and it's not so glorious or what they thought or what they see other people taking. It's like you got to remember that this is temporary. Everything is temporary, whether it's good or it's bad. So enjoy it for what it is. Get the best out of it, and that's good that like you just looked at the big picture the entire time.
Today, honestly, man, I have to, because I mean, you're gonna have bad days, like bad weeks sometimes, you know.
Mhm.
So you have to look at it. It's part of a journey. It's a story, really.
I got to say, Pat played 10 times better after that Frank's Red Hot sauce came through, too. Man,
Absolutely. My diet's a lot better now compared to the ground beef and rice movement.
this guy lived on ground beef, frozen vegetables. But yeah, Pat, so I think you mentioned that, and you've mentioned this to me before. So have you completely changed your diet now?
Yeah, I mean, so I started like a plant-based diet in like beginning of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and I got off it, but now like by doing that, like I enjoy eating like vegetables and stuff more. Like I still have cheat meals like probably once or twice a week, but all in all, like doing that, like I only did it for 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
but still just doing that helped me like propel me into like a better diet. Because other than like if I didn't do something like that, I can eat anything. So
All right, cool. So I like this. I like this concept. So you felt like you needed a massive change to go all the way, and then you could come back to like a healthy medium.
yeah, so like so in 2019 was like the longest playing year of like my life, like hands down. I went to Australia in January. So I played from January to July, and then I went from midseason from Australia midseason to preseason with the Philadelphia Fury. That whole thing happened, 2 games, club went broke, blah, blah, blah. Then I moved out here.
We'll get into that.
I was playing from here from September to like December. So I literally almost went 12 months on a calendar year of playing. And
Wow.
I remember this time last year, I was getting like, I just felt so like, I don't want to say burnt out, but I was just so like, I just wasn't like fresh or like feeling good. Like I feel like I was going to training and like a little sluggish. So I just kind of
completely makes sense.
Yeah. So I just kind of realized that like I have to change something. Like something has to change. Like and
at the time, what were you eating? What was your diet like?
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible, man. I was eating like for breakfast. I would eat like on the way to training. I'd grab like donuts from like 7-Eleven. Like
oh no.
Like for lunch, I would like order food. Like I mean, I just never really cooked, to be honest. I was eating out a lot, so like I was still eating like ground beef, like, but now and then like when I slowly started changing, I went to like ground turkey,
just to get like a little leaner. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was just small. I started really small, and then like I kind of like eventually like got off all that bad stuff. Where now it's like I eat Greek yogurt like every morning with like protein and a lot more fruit, like just stuff. I'm not like big into it, but I just know like what makes my body feel good now compared to like eating like trash. Yeah,
that's good because I would definitely say some fruit over the donuts, but hey.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's like a positive improvement.
Whatever gets that 6.5 engine going, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we have to take a short water break.
Why do we have to take a short water break, Dylan?
We have to take a short water break, Sean,
a 2-minute and 57-second countdown.
Oh, you have it too. Okay, that's good. So we don't want to pay for Zoom Premium right now. So we can have 40-minute meetings, and we're gonna start a new one in a few minutes here. So boys,
everyone take a drink.
It's halftime. Everyone take a pause. Let's refresh. And I think we're going down under to Australia next. So we'll see you guys soon.
So everyone hydrated.
Second half, we're ready, boys. Everyone's ready. Good to go.
Caffeinated up. He's buzzing. I can see him.
Buzzing.
I was excited for this, man. Can't lie. I'm a big fan. I listen to your guys' show. I think it's awesome, man.
Appreciate that, Patty.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's cool what you guys are doing. But what's going on in Germany with COVID and everything?
Take it away, Sean.
Well, so as of today, breaking news, the season, pretty much everything, it depends on the region, but the season will be stopped for all of November. Thankfully for Dill, it's not great for me. Our teams play each other this weekend on Sunday, which is November 1st. And for whatever reason, they're allowing this weekend's games to take place, even though.
Well, I think everything comes into play November 2nd because nothing's open on Sundays here anyway. So,
right.
Restaurants, you can only do takeout. Retail is shut down. Hotels are shut down. Yeah. Schools are still open. Supermarkets, pharmacies. So they're trying to do they're calling it a lockdown light. So they're trying to shut down a bunch of stuff, but keep a lot of jobs and some things going in the economy. But
yeah, it makes sense.
We'll see, but we can't even. As of right now, we can't even train. So it's going back to. I'll be going back to kettlebell workouts and long runs again. So some hill workouts.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Back to the yard, Sean.
Yeah.
How was your guys' training during COVID? At first, real quick, how was training? How were you guys doing during COVID and everything, training on your own without the team environment? Because I really struggled with that. I hate not being in the team environment.
It was. I think it was good for us, Sean. I just want to have a quick point, but I think it was just good for us because Sean and I were both really on the same level with it. So it was similar to Gritty Time when one of us wasn't really feeling. I think the other one came through with some energy and was
awesome
pushing the other one.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. My team had 2 sessions a week on a Zoom meeting essentially, but it's just calisthenic stuff, and sure, it's some exercise I wouldn't normally do, and it gets your heart rate going. You got to sweat in, but Dylan and I were doing most of the work.
I'll say Sean's juggling improved tenfold over those months.
It did, and I got some juggling skills too.
Yeah, he's got some new tricks.
Decent. Yeah, and I got some tricks.
All right.
Yeah, and in the past I was like, nah, these juggling tricks. What am I going to use these for? But now I can solve a little bit.
It's a good way to get touches. It's a fun way to get touches.
Yeah, it's facts. Yeah, so just like Dylan said, we had a schedule, and that we just stuck to it. And if someone wasn't feeling it, it was all right, I'll give you 10 minutes, drink a coffee, and then we're going.
Yeah.
It's not you're not getting out of this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man. That's awesome.
And ultimately, it just made the time so productive because at some point we were just in a schedule, a routine, and in a good way though. And then footwork was created.
We would reward ourselves with some Call of Duty at the end of the day, but that was all good. You gotta reward. You gotta, what's called in Atomic Habits is the habit stacking.
Yeah.
So you can reward yourself if you do something productive first.
Mhm.
Or just
makes sense.
on a quick tangent, there's another habit thing. So it's like I think it's also like a version of habit stacking, right, Sean?
Yeah, I got Atomic Habits right here actually.
So I got do you have the new FIFA, Pat?
Oh, dude, of course, man.
Are you on PS or Xbox?
No, I'm on Xbox, man.
All right, well, so that killed our dreams right there. But
Yeah, no.
I bought it and I said to myself like, you could be using your time a little wiser here. So I made like what's called a habit stack. Is when I play FIFA, I can only play if I am also listening to a German podcast or like German YouTube phrases and stuff like that. So it's like it's somewhat productive, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. You play Ultimate Team?
I don't.
Oh man,
I can't spend that much time. I'm sorry.
I grind out. I'm an Ultimate Team grinder, man. I grind that out.
I
No doubt.
remember Patty used to slap me around in Sweden. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Patty, let's go down under now. So the folks know that I played in Tasmania. I got the Tasmania hoodie on for you today.
Look
I
at
don't have
that.
any Tasmania. I can't believe I didn't buy anything.
Well, you were out of there quick. So let's go into that. So
Yeah, I got out of there ASAP, man.
After Sweden, we together materialized you with my old team in Tasmania and Australia with Launceston City. I was the initial agent, I guess, but then Patty handled everything from there. So, so I mean, I got you in touch. So then what happened next?
Yeah, so pretty much I think I remember it was like a week before we left Sweden. So like the timing was like, that's another thing I've learned. And the timing for everything is so important. So like that was pretty lucky because if it would have been a week later, like who knows? Because I remember telling you in the kitchen, they hit you up to come back. And I was like, if you don't want to go, tell them you got a fire center back that's ready to go to Australia.
And I was like, word? And you were like, word.
Yeah. Yeah, because we went on trial with that Safley, and you and Zach both got offered, but I didn't get an offer, so I was kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so you put me in touch with them, and I mean it was pretty straightforward. They watched my video. I think I talked to that Roger Mees like twice on the phone, just talking about like the money and stuff, and then like it's pretty straightforward. They sent the contract, and I think it was around Thanksgiving maybe I signed the contract, and then I had a flight out there like January like. It was early, like January, like 12th.
You went earlier than me because I don't think I went till February.
Yeah, they told me they wanted to like get me out there early because like to help like adapt and everything. And I mean, I was working at Whole Foods, man. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I was like, I'll leave tomorrow, man. Like, I couldn't wait to get out of there.
What was that flight like?
Oh, bro, that was brutal, man. I got the worst seat, man. I was sitting in the very back row next to this big dude who would sleep. I was on his right, and he would like put his head over, like right on me, man, for like 14 hours. Like it's everybody's worst nightmare on a long flight.
Did you get his number after?
No, I think he was New Zealander. I don't know. We talked footy a little bit because I think maybe they were French or something. Because they asked what I was doing because they could tell I was American. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But either way, so you touched down. You're playing for Launceston City, and what was that experience like?
I mean, it was cool. Like it was cool, I guess. Like it's good and bad, like wherever you go. But
let's be frank, though. I gave you the rundown of everything that was good and bad from my experience, right?
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Just to let everyone know.
You did warn me, but like the problem was the year after you left, they had like that really good year with like remember where they finished like maybe top 4 or something, and so it seemed like it was getting better. But I guess like I got there and there was a new board, a new president, like it was a complete turnover. And then our coach quit a week before the first game or got fired.
Wait, did you know which one it was? Did he quit or did he get fired?
I think it was a little bit of both.
Interesting.
But man, this dude was like, he was a nice fellow, probably a great father, great husband. But man, he was old school, bro. Like we would just turn up and like run, like we didn't even like touch the ball some days. And I was just like, this is awful. 'Cause I hate running, dude. Like
it's the worst.
Yeah, like and it like I didn't fly across the world to just do laps at practice.
Mhm.
Like,
So what
but
else? You worked part-time too. I worked part-time. So what did you do?
yeah, I had like three different. So I worked in like a food factory, and I had to go into a freezer that was like negative degrees, man. I had to have a freezer suit on,
Oh man.
and I had to like have a list, and I would grab stuff off the shelf, and it would be so cold, bro. I'd be in there like like writing like writing stuff down. Oh
Do you have a picture of this?
no, I don't. I never. You weren't even allowed. Like the job was like there was no interaction with anyone. Like you weren't allowed. Everyone. I don't know, dude. It was just like a weird job, man.
Did you have to lay bricks? Brick
No,
and
I
mortar,
didn't
like,
have to lay bricks. Honestly, I think the freezer was better than laying bricks, because that's
Well,
not,
how long did you last at the freezer?
I did it for about 3 weeks. And
Well,
then
I lasted a week at the bricklaying. So yeah, it was just a little bit better. Not by much, but it was a little bit better.
and then I started picking berries, dude, like in the farm.
Many
did
people
that-
do this. Many people do
Because
this.
I was
in
like-
Australia.
I was in a really weird phase where I was like, I don't really know. Like maybe I'll want to stay out here another year. So I was like, I might as well start working towards my visa, like for next year, like just in case. That's kind of how I was looking at it.
Mhm.
I did that for a week. That was awful. Like that was.
We've
What
mentioned
What kind of berries
before,
were you
but
picking?
But I don't even remember how the pay worked. Like it was like you picked like a little like
it's by the bucket, isn't it?
raspberry. No, it was raspberries, and it was in like what you buy at the store, like those little boxes. I don't know. I don't even know what they're called.
Okay.
But, and I think it got paid by the crate. But if you picked like bad ones, they would like dock it from your pay.
Oh my goodness, this is
So, like, it
incredible.
wouldn't even,
This is
like, it wasn't
incredible
even
insight.
But
This it
we-
sucked, man.
we've mentioned this, but you have to do to get a second year visa in Australia, you have to do 90 days of either agricultural or something. You have to do like one of these types of jobs. And so
Yeah.
many foreigners end up picking berries or like picking grapes or picking apples.
And if you do 90 days, you get the rest of the year free.
You
get a
you can
second year
do
visa.
you get a second year visa, but you can do anything else in
Yeah.
those days. Like you can work somewhere else.
Yeah, I did that for like a few days, and I was like, man, screw it.
So you lasted 3 weeks at the freezer, and then you lasted a couple days at the berry picking.
Yeah,
What was next?
and then I started painting. That's when I got with Rob Murray.
Oh, you started with the stroke with the paintbrush.
Yeah, painting, which was cool. I mean, that was way better because there was one kid on the team, who's one of my good friends now, Dan Smith from England, who I think now he like lives there, and another kid named Shane Cartwright.
Yeah,
I don't know,
remember.
maybe you know that name.
Mm-hmm. Played
He was
against
like
him.
an older guy, and he was really cool to me because he grew up in like an English academy and stuff. Like, you know, he's one of my good friends. That was cool, and did that. I mean, that was all right. Like that was a grind though, man. Like getting up at like, I think I started at like 7 a.m. Like I'd get up at like 5:30 because like the only time I could talk to my family, my parents and like my siblings and stuff was before work because of the time change. And you don't have your phone at work because I mean it's work, and I need the job. So I was like, I'm not gonna be an idiot. So that was a grind, dude. Like I'd go get up 5:30, talk to my family, go paint houses, and then go to the gym, and then like go to training where we started getting like 8 players. I think one day we had 6 players at train. And you know the Tasmanian winters, bro, they're no joke. Even though it doesn't snow, it is cold.
It is cold because it's just always windy and it's always rainy. Always.
Yeah. It's terrible, man. But I mean, it was all right. Like it's like the club like didn't pay me on time and stuff, which was kind of like annoying. Like they said I was gonna end up coaching like 2 days a week, and I never even ended up coaching. Like,
Yeah, so it kind of just goes into like you can't always take this was word of mouth, I'm assuming.
yeah,
So
but
this
it
was
was even in my contract that I was gonna coach like 2 days a week.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it just got like really, I don't know. They were just so like dysfunctional and like disorganized, and like we didn't even have like training kits. Like, you know, I think I didn't get like any gear. Like I got like, I don't know. It just wasn't like ran right, I guess is the best way to put it.
Very unprofessional.
Yeah, very unprofessional, which was weird because like the NPL over there is like the media and everything's like amazing. They had like team of the week and stuff. You know, and I got on team of the week a couple of times, which was pretty cool.
Most of the games are streamed too, so you can get like good highlights at least.
Yeah, like yeah. the media coverage and stuff is like awesome, to be honest.
How did you feel about the level and then the style of play in Tasmania? Like, how would you describe it?
I think like the Devonports and like maybe South Harbor at the time were like they were a decent level. You know, they weren't amazing, but like they were probably like maybe like a Division II school like type level. And then the style was just really weird, man. Like pretty similar. I would say it was like a mix of like an American style. Like they're big on like fitness and like long balls and, you know, getting stuck in and working hard, which was like no problem to really like adapt to. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like just lumping it. Like we would just kick it forward and like just chase and, you know. But,
some Route One. So
yeah,
you got a new coach.
Like,
how was the new coach? Where was he from?
He was good. He was an awesome dude. He was from Tasmania.
Okay.
He was like a lifer at the club and stuff. Like, really nice guy. Like he honestly, like, he kind of kept me there for a little bit. Like he looked after me. Like he tried his best to like make sure that I was doing all right. Like I told him about how I wasn't getting like paid on time, and he would like talk to the board and stuff for me. So like in terms of like treating me individually, like I think he did a good job. Like he did what, like he tried his best, you know.
These are the things, like, even in situations where they're not that great, I feel like you do always find like a few people that are like good-hearted and you stick in touch with afterwards, and it kind of makes the whole situations worth it in a way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I made some pretty good friends down there too. Like I had a really good like life experience there. Not so much football, but like life in general there was pretty cool.
Pat's a bit of a card shark, and I do remember that they have a casino down there. Were you frequenting the casino?
I played one time and I won like $700. That was it. I swear to God. Played one
time, won 700, and you set them out.
Yeah, it was like,
man.
It was the night we had like the club party, and it was at the casino. So like we partied up. I was upstairs, and then after I came down, I played till like 2 a.m, and I won like $700.
Good on you, mate.
I know, it was nice, man.
Yeah.
I should have just went there for work instead of.
Did you bring back any lingo? I said mate for like another 2 months, and then once I realized I was the only one saying it, and I felt silly, I was
like brekkie.
Yeah, brekkie's a good one.
Frothies for beer.
Frothies, I forgot about that.
Oh, shout! Like that's a good shout. It's your
that's a good shout. Yeah.
I actually say that's a good shout a lot.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too. That sounds like a bit English too. So I think it's kind of like you don't sound too out of place.
Yeah, exactly.
So Australia is, again, it's not exactly what you're looking for. So
yeah.
Were you at this point, were you still thinking like, no matter what, I'm going to make it to like, I'm going to make that jump? Or was there a part of you that was starting to second guess? And you were like,
I'd say a little bit of both. I was exploring like all options. I was actually talking to a team in New Zealand over there. So they have a top tier that runs from September to May. So I was actually talking to a team, and they were saying like, well, after your season, you know, you can like come on trial. And I was like, you know, they were telling me the money and stuff. And it was pretty decent for like, you know, an apartment, like coaching, playing, train like 4 mornings a week or something like that. Games on the weekend. It's on TV there. And that was like really appealing. And then that's when I came across, I just got lucky, honestly. Like I saw a tweet from like this guy named Matt Driver that he was starting the Philadelphia Fury in Nisa. And I shot him an email and sent him my highlight tape, and he answered, and like we had a phone call, and then like the rest is history. And then that was a weird part though, because so I sent him my video, and then he called me and he was like, like, I don't know, man, like obviously you're a good player because you've been to Sweden and Australia. And I'm not kidding, like I begged this guy to give me a contract. I was like, please, like I'm so unhappy here, like I just want to come home, like I just want to play in the States, like please. I was like, I will do anything you ask, man, like anything. I was like, I'll run through a wall, I'll bust my ass, like I don't care. And then he's like, okay, like let me think about it. So then he sent me an email and was like, hey buddy, like we're gonna offer you a contract. And I was hype. I was like, all right, nice. So I was like, I can get out of here like ASAP. And then I'm like, wait, then a week goes by and I still haven't heard from the guy. And I'm like, all right, like what's going on here? So this is like around June. And then I tried to call him, he didn't answer. So I give it a couple of days, call him again, he didn't answer. And I was like, all right, like what is going on? So now it's like end of June. I'm like, okay, like this is getting kind of worrisome. Did I just get like ghosted? Did I just get told I was getting my first like
You got
full professional
catfished.
contract, and
Yeah.
now he just goes off the radar. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call this guy like in the middle of the night. Like maybe he'll have his phone on ring. So I called him in the middle of the night. It was probably like 3 a.m. U.S. time, and he picked up and was like, "Hey, buddy, like sorry, I'm sleeping. Like I'll send it to you." And then like
Wow.
the next morning I got the contract, and I
Hey.
Wow. I didn't know this. I didn't know this story.
Yeah, I printed it out on I think it was a Wednesday or maybe a Thursday, and I left on Sunday. This was like mid to end of July.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
this
this
didn't
is
care.
love this persistence. This is a bunch of shit right here. So this
I
is
just didn't
like,
care, man.
I mean, the title of this episode is "Be Your Own Agent." So Pat, you were pulling all the tricks. You called this guy in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I know. I was a little worried about that one because I was like, okay, I might piss him
There's
off.
no turning back about that. There's
How
no turning
long did
back
you
after
stare at
that.
your phone and like the numbers up and you like
20
you're
minutes,
like-
good 20 minutes.
your thumbs like hovering around it, you know?
Yeah, it was a good 20 minutes. It was like Sunday in Australia, so it was like Sunday, like middle of the night, you know. I can't remember what it was, but
But so this guy tweeted that he's starting a club, and you cold emailed him,
cold emailed him.
and he answered you like pretty
He
soon.
answered. Yeah, I still have the emails on my phone. I still like sometimes I look at them from like time to time because I just find it like wild.
That is
And-
wild though.
It is.
He looked at my video and then sent me like an interview, and I remember typing out this interview, and I probably took like an hour and a half to respond to this because I was like, it was like pretty like important questions. It was like, you know, it was like I'm not just like worried about you as a player, but like how are you as a person? Like what experience can you bring? You know, it was a pretty like.
But you weren't even asking for a trial. You were asking for a contract. You said bring it home.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he was not really into trials. Like that man knows talent though, dude. Like we had some good players there. So I don't know I wish that dude had money to run a club, but
And how was it that like was the club okay with you leaving Australia so soon?
yeah, that was because dude, we were like we won like 4 games in a row, and like we were doing like okay, and then I don't know, dude. Like it's NPL, man. Kids just stop showing up. Like kids stop caring. Like. Kids are more concerned about where they're going to go get their drink after the game Saturday night, going to what is it, Star Bar or whatever it is down there.
I think that is what it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, and that was cool. Like, I get it. You know, they have a different mindset than I do, so that was tough to adjust to. But I didn't handle it right. I called them and didn't even like. I think we had training on Tuesday, and I called them Wednesday and said like, "Hey, I'm done." And then I sat out. I didn't play the game on the weekend. Then I left Sunday.
Well, maybe we could have handled it a little better. I don't know. It's whatever.
How did that work out? How did that work out with the Fury? Did they give you your player pass? Was there any issues with that?
Yeah, so I just
your release.
No, because I was technically amateur. I was technically an amateur, even though I was getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
I was technically listed as an amateur, and as an amateur, you can go from amateur to professional. Like it doesn't matter. I was in the summer.
The Philadelphia Fury was considered professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, okay.
So then do you go right into preseason with the Fury?
Yeah, so I was home. I got home end of July. I was home for like 2.5 weeks, and then I went to the beach for a couple of days with my family in Delaware, and then from there I went to Philly, and I was right in the preseason.
And how was that? Like, did you feel like you were a professional? Did you feel like you made it during that preseason?
Not really. I mean, I was like really hungry, dude, because I saw the schedule and I saw that we were playing Detroit City, the first game at Detroit City. So I was like, oh, I got to start that game, you know? Like they get 8,000 people. I was like, I have to start this game. So, but it was an adjustment. Honestly, man, like I went from training 2 times a week to training every 6 days a week in the morning, which was like, that was honestly like a pretty big adjustment in the first like 2 weeks.
And how did your
Just,
body
like,
adapt to that?
Oh, it was tough at first, man. I was getting a lot of pain like in my lower back and stuff from like, you know, but I mean, you just have, honestly, I just like, yeah, that didn't help. That didn't help, but it was definitely tough on my body, but I mean, preseason stuff on your body regardless. So
yeah,
you just kind of I just pushed through it, but it was cool, man. We had a lot of good players there, honestly. Like the level there, that was a great, compared to Sweden and Australia, like blew it out of the park.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Newell was there, right?
Huh?
Kyle Newell.
Yeah. Kyle plays
Yeah.
with me on the Michigan Stars. Yeah.
Yeah, he was here. He actually stayed with me for 2 nights here when he was on trial.
Oh yeah. He's a good player. He's our captain. Yeah, he's a good player.
It's a small world.
Yeah, no,
This
it
world.
is.
We've spoke about it before, but it really is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Patty, so you did. There was a little hint, I think, before the water break. So what happened at Philadelphia Fury?
Yeah, man. So we got there. Like first, we didn't even have training kits. Again, I'm like, I'm in a 3-bedroom with 6 guys.
I don't get a training kit.
But that's annoying, man. Like, well, I shouldn't have to bring my own clothes to training. Not a professional.
I shouldn't have to bring my own swimsuit to training.
But like, yeah. So it was like the same. I got there and it was like a 3-bedroom apartment with 6 guys. I moved into the living room, and we trained like this is when I thought it was okay. I was like, okay, like I can deal with this. Like then we trained. We didn't even like have like a facility. We trained like on a baseball field, but on the outside of the baseball field. Like
Sounds like wreck.
yeah, it wasn't even like we were
Kindergarten.
training in the outfield of like nice grass. Like we were on like the outside of the baseball field.
Wow. Okay.
So we played our first game against Detroit City, and we lost 1-0. And then I guess so. Then we had a game that next weekend, and they canceled it for some reason. I don't know. It was weird. Like they can't. That's when you kind of knew that something was going on. It was supposed to be our first home game at like Franklin Field, which I guess probably costs like $10K an hour. It's like a 60,000 person stadium.
Wow.
You know, like we were renting. The guy was renting that out.
Mhm.
So, and then after that, we went to Miami, and I'm like embarrassed to talk about it. We got like thumped 8-1.
It happens. I got thumped 8-1 in Australia, so it is what it is.
Man, like that, but that team was nice, man. Like you see, like a lot of those dudes are playing like USL, like that Dario. I don't even know his name. Some kid named Dario Suarez and like Martinez who played for FC Tulsa this year, and they made playoffs. Like they had a kid named like Dylan Mares who like played for El Paso, who just lost in like I think the conference finals of USL. So like they were legit, man. Like that was a legit team.
And so you get thumped 8-1, and then you get hit with some developing crazy teams, really.
So I turned up to training on like Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember, and everybody's like the coach isn't there, and like the other coach isn't there, and like I don't know, it's just like you have like this weird feel, you know, like just your intuition is like, okay, something's going on, like something's not right. And we get there, and then like he finally turns up and he brings us all in, and he's like, guys, like I hate to tell you this, but like we're suspending like operations until further notice.
Oh man.
It's like I know it was a bad loss, but goddamn.
Yeah. Like, dude, talk about being like at an all-time high, like playing in front of like 8,000 people at Detroit City, and then like 2 weeks later, I was at the biggest low I've ever been like in my career.
And this is right after 2 contracts that you pressed through and like made the best out of, and then you're finally like a full-time professional playing, and you said the best level you had so far, and it just gets taken away from you.
Yeah, something that I can't control. Like that sucked. Like that was brutal, man. Like that actually like hurt in my stomach. Like driving back, I felt like just in such a limbo. I was like telling myself like, man, I should have just stayed in Australia and just worked and made money and like, and then it was like we got told we're still gonna train and stuff, and then like obviously we didn't train. Like we were supposed to get paid that Friday. We didn't get paid that Friday, and it's like, oh my God, like.
Are you still waiting for that Friday?
Actually, they do owe me some money, but they owe me one. I got paid like twice a month. They owe me one check still.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So then, then we met with the league and everything, and we got like was it a compensation package or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then from there, so that was like 2 weeks later. So I was literally living in Jersey/Philly, like just hanging out and like we're going for runs, like juggling the ball off the wall, like. Kind of wondering like what is going on.
What is life?
Yeah, like didn't know what to do, and like the transfer window was like closed, like USL rosters were frozen. So it was like, and then I just I signed my release, and I just I messaged the Michigan Stars on Instagram. Again, I get lucky, and they give me their number. I call them, and the owner's like, well, can you come tomorrow? And I remember it was like at 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, yeah, like I'm not doing anything. Like I'm waiting to go somewhere.
So at 9 o'clock, you go from Philly to Michigan.
So we have a meeting with the Fury the next day, and like they try to convince me to stay because like they're gonna fix everything, blah blah blah. And I'm like, honestly, man, like I need to go play. Like I was like, see ya. I literally met with them at like 10 in the morning, and I went home, finished packing. I left my house there at noon, and I got to Michigan at like 11:30 at night.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, man. I mean, like, seriously, though, like, you're just – talk about being able to change your environment on the fly, man.
Yeah, man. I remember calling my parents, and they were like, are you sure you want to go? Like, you don't even know anything. And I'm like, well, what else am I going to do? Like, I need to play.
Pat looks around like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, literally, that's literally how I was like. I was like, yeah, sure, man. I'll come tomorrow.
Like, yeah, like you're
only halfway across the country, but yeah, why not?
Like you're going to a buddy's house. Like, yeah, I'll come through. Where are you? Michigan? Yeah, just send me the address.
Yeah. But it was funny because as I was driving the Michigan Stars, Detroit City called me because they found out we folded and everything, and they wanted me to come in. So I actually came to Michigan Stars first, and this is kind of where it goes in with like being your own agent. Is, you know, we were talking like numbers and stuff because they were joining NISA in the spring. They were playing NPSL Members Cup right now, which is technically still amateur, but we were still like talking contract and stuff. And I was here for a day, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go check out Detroit City first. So I went there and like pretty much had like a 1-day trial, and like I did well, and they were like, yeah, like we want you to play with us for the rest of the season. So they go to register me, and I find out because I'm going from professional to amateur, I can't play in a game for 30 days. 30 days.
There it is.
30 days, man. That was the roughest month, I think. Just all in all, from Philly being broke to that was like the absolute, like, I think the lowest point I'll probably ever get to my career. No doubt.
Let's hope.
That's interesting. It was 30 days. Because when I went from Mongolia to Germany, I had to wait 6 months.
6 months?
The last game. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's brutal.
Maybe America's just different.
In the FIFA system, you can't get released until if you don't sign in the transfer window, you have to wait 6 months from your last professional game, and then you're technically like there's no strings attached anymore.
But did you go from like professional to professional though? Because professional to amateur, it's like a 30-day change. I think that's probably the difference.
I mean, it was Oberliga, so it's. I thought it was amateur.
I don't know. That's
still
weird.
amateur.
I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's weird.
Either way, though, so you what a tough month. So you wait 30 days or what though? Because Detroit wants to register you. Michigan Stars answered you on Instagram, like.
So the coach, I talked to the coach of Detroit City. Like, I just told him, like, dude, like, I want to train. Like, I don't want to go home. Like, I don't want to go home and like sit on my ass and like do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, yeah, like he goes, you're more than welcome to like stick around and like train. So that's what I did. But it was tough, dude, because they had like 3 away trips during that time. So this was like September of last year. So they had 3 away trips. So like, and they only had 19 players. So I was the one guy that didn't travel. So like,
oh man,
I'm literally stuck in a city like by myself, like where I don't
alone.
Like don't know a single person, man. Like literally waiting like Friday. No, we trained Thursday, and then they would leave like early Friday morning, and it's from Friday till like Tuesday, I'm waiting to go to training, like just sitting in my room, like playing FIFA. Like they let me like use the facility sometimes if it was open and like train and stuff, but like. Oh, I don't know. It had to take like a different mentality for me to like kind of stay motivated at that point. Cause I was really like, cause I was just at an all-time high, man, like playing against Detroit City, 8,000 people to this. And now I'm like, oh my God, like what's even going to happen? Like, I don't really want to be a free agent. Cause that's not, everybody knows like being a free agent, like isn't fun.
Yeah. It's tough to come back if you are a free agent, when you have those gaps in the contracts, or in the CV, it's hard to make your way back. Yeah. But what happens then?
So just stuck it out, trained, and then I got a call, from Michigan Stars, and they wanted to talk to me again. So I went in and like I negotiated a contract and like all that, and then I took it to Detroit City, and I was like, "Do you think you could like match it, or like what can you offer? And then like, I mean, tells itself now I'm at the Michigan Stars.
Wow, man. Patty put his cards on the table,
Yeah.
said, I want this. Detroit City, can you match it? That's dope though, man. So like, did you ever feel like you needed an agent, or did you feel like you could navigate these waters yourself?
I feel like I can navigate them myself. Like I look like before I moved here, or when I was in Detroit City and I started talking to Michigan Stars, it was like a 4-day process. I was like looking up like the cost of living and stuff. Like, you know, I was kind of like doing like the little like tedious research stuff that I need to know. Like if I wanted to get an apartment on my own, or like if I was going to go where the club provided me. So like,
and these are a lot of the things that I think agents do, is like not just negotiate the contract, but a bit of like where you're going to live, or, you know, things like that. Yeah. So you took it upon yourself. Like, I'm going to do the tedious work and save money by not paying someone.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't trust an agent. Like, I've just heard like nightmare stories where it's like, I'd rather just be in control, and like, you know, if it's a bad decision at the end of the day, I can live with it. But I couldn't live with someone else telling me to do, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like there's levels to it too. Like you are a professional. But I feel like an MLS agent is a little different in terms of like what they can do for you, and like that you kind of need one at that level in the Premier League and stuff like that. When you can kind of navigate the waters like you can, and you understand the league and, you know, what your self-worth is,
exactly.
It's like okay to kind of just like do that yourself.
Yeah. And it almost makes it more messy at that level too, to have an agent, because then it's like, you know, you're not making huge money here. It's where it's like, why am I even paying this guy to negotiate something that I could just do on my own, you know? Whereas like at the MLS, it's like you said, it's a whole different story with you have sponsors and all this different thing. There's a lot going on. But at this level, it's almost a headache to have an agent, because
I definitely think it's a headache. For sure.
If Pat got that Frank's Red Hot Sauce sponsorship deal, then we would be talking to agencies. But right now it's okay. We're still working on it.
True, man. True. But definitely, I mean, because like Sean said, the money is like, yeah, I mean, if you're doing this for the money, like you're in the wrong profession. So like, if you want to make money, do something completely different than this. So
yeah,
that's probably like the biggest reason to why I don't want an agent. I really like, my goal is probably to like end up in Asia at one point. So if I had like an agent to get me out there, then like that would be a whole different scenario. But like just where I'm at in my career right now, I don't need an agent.
All right, boys, we're entering extra time. We weren't kidding. Zoom Premium, you're not getting a dime from us. We can navigate and be our own agents on here. So,
facts.
Pat, you said before we left, you said something about going to Asia next. So that's in your near plan. You're playing at Michigan Stars right now, but like that's one of your main goals is to get out to Asia.
Yeah, probably when I'm a little older. I'm 26 right now, so I think like maybe when I'm like, maybe even not, I mean, if it, you know, right now I just want to keep playing and kind of beefing up my CV and stuff and my resume and get some good tape, and then probably maybe like 27, 28, I'd probably try to go out there for the latter stretch of my career. I just heard there's like good money out there. They like big center backs, so like it just kind of seems like a good spot.
Where in Asia you want to go?
So actually, one of my teammates in the Fury played in Vietnam, and then he played in Bangladesh.
Dope.
Wow.
Like, probably. I mean, I'd probably go anywhere in Asia. Thailand's like, that's like England over there. That's a football country. So like, that would be probably like that's.
Hey,
like
we're gonna talk off the record later, but we'd like to meet this connection of yours as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we can
start. We're talking Southeast Asia. Mongolia is off the.
Mongolia is off. That's North Asia. Maybe we can all get on a team. We can all get on a team out there.
There we go.
Yeah, that would be sick.
You two as a center back pairing? Oh man.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I'm here for that.
Dope.
Righty lefty combination.
Yeah.
I'll chill up top somewhere.
We've heard the same thing too from people that I know is it's better to go there when you're a little older.
Yeah, they like older players, I guess.
More experienced older players that like when you're young, it doesn't make sense to go there. Also, you know, you hear like a lot of it's unprofessional. As professional as some of it is, it's like
Yeah.
some of it is not. So if you're trying to develop as a player, it's not really the place to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm trying to chill
let's
out
make
on a
that
beach
happen.
I'm trying to chill out on a beach for a season, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds lovely.
But let's come back to the present. So yeah, I mean we've talked a lot about it today, and I've even gotten some messages recently about agents and stuff, and should people have an agent? I think everyone's situation is definitely different, but
Yeah.
like you can do a lot of the stuff your own. Like Pat, you called someone in the middle of the night, you messaged people on Instagram. Like you may have gotten lucky, and maybe some people do the same thing. Like I've sent a bunch of emails and haven't gotten responses, but for you, you've done this and gotten things. So it's not crazy. Like you've done all this work yourself.
Yeah, and when people say like, yeah, I got lucky, but I also like am a believer, like, because I work really hard and I'm dedicated and I'm committed, that like you're gonna get lucky. Like successful people get lucky, man. Like I think that's just a fact of life. Like
Mm-hmm.
some people find the right job at the right time. Somebody leaves their job, leaves the promotion spot at that right time, and they get promoted. Like
Would
that's
you
life.
also say that you've sent a bunch of emails in your life and you
Like
haven't?
I have. Oh yeah, I have.
Oh, okay, good. I was gonna say this is gonna kill my point.
Like 1,000. I've probably gotten like 5 replies, but all those replies have like worked in my favor.
There we go, though, people. Like 1,000 emails, 5 replies, but they have all worked out, and you've climbed the ladder.
Yeah.
So like you can do that too. Like spend some time, put in some emails, and yeah, you may not hear back from 999, but that one person who's gonna answer your phone call at 4 a.m. like you can get
Yeah,
a
exactly.
contract.
Be told no, man, in this industry, dude. Like being told no is like could be your greatest asset, honestly.
And a
Mm.
really, really important point with this too is not just sending the emails, but you said like you create your own luck, but luck is when proper preparation meets an opportunity.
Yeah, oh,
You can
100%.
get this opportunity, but if you're not ready, it doesn't mean anything,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
If this Detroit city calls you and say, "Yeah, come tomorrow," but you're not fit, you're not ready to play, you can't go tomorrow. Because if you go there,
Or
you're
you're
going to
not
look
willing
terrible, and they're
to,
going to say no,
or you're not willing to drive 11 hours.
right? And
Yeah,
that's a really crucial part of this in this game is you really need to be at this level. You need to be ready 365 days a year to start a season.
yeah,
Like there's
absolutely.
no off season, quote unquote,
No, not
because
at all.
you're almost at the mercy of the next opportunity.
Yeah,
If you're really true about this and you're really trying to push up the levels and get better as a player, you need to be ready for the next opportunity when it comes knocking,
yeah, I agree.
or you go
Dedicated,
out there and find it.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
It's amazing, Pat. We've kept in touch this entire time since Sweden, but it's been really dope to see you climb the ladder, especially on your own, man. Just kind of grinding out in these different places, and you've in turn like helped some people get into your club too. Like you've
Yeah,
essentially
boy,
kind
Zach.
of repaid favors and extend hands to people who were looking for it too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So Zach, I mean, who played with us in Gritty Tons out here, and then 2 other guys from the Fury team, I brought them out here. Kyle and like another kid named Cameron, I brought them out here.
Mm-hmm. So
Awesome.
I told a guy this the other day on the phone, and he was asking me about like connections, and it to me it's like the emails and stuff that helps, but if you do know someone, anyone, anywhere, like reach out. Like you remember Joe used to have us make um
Roadmaps.
yeah, the roadmaps, and we'd have to like actually draw out places that we think we could play, put it on paper, and then list someone who may know someone in the soccer industry somewhere,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I like that. I mean,
think
that's a
outside the
good,
box. And putting it on paper, you were like actually thinking about it like more than if it was just a thought that passes in your brain.
For sure. Has your roadmap stayed the same? Because mine's completely changed, man.
Mine has completely changed, and I think that's the point of the roadmap, though. It's like it's just trial and error, and
Yeah,
you think you want something, and then something else comes along, and you kind of have to ride the wave, right?
yeah, exactly. I never would have thought I'd be playing. I never like when I was coming out of college, I was like, I want to play in Europe or a different country. Like I don't want to play in the States. And then my mindset and kind of completely changed within like a year and a half, 2 years.
But that's good of you that you kind of realize what makes you happy and what you needed in terms of footy and things around footy, not just in footy. So like you wanted to be back in the US, so you changed your environment. You didn't give up the game. You changed your environment and stay with the goal.
Yeah, exactly, man. Absolutely.
Amazing. Bro, I've really enjoyed this. I'm so glad we finally got to sit down. Yeah. I see the Steelers thing in the background. I haven't quite made fun of you for that, but they're doing well, so I can't make fun of you.
No, Dylan, we're going to Dylan, if we win the Super Bowl this year, you're coming to Pittsburgh that night. If you're home, you're coming.
February, I'll probably be here, so that's going to be a bit tough.
I'll get you a flight to Pittsburgh from Germany. You'll come, and then you'll fly back Monday morning.
I'll answer your call. How about that? You can call me. You can call me drunk that night, and I'll answer your call.
No, I won't be drunk because I'll probably have to drive back for training Monday morning.
Good man. See, this is the level. This is the level we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of stuffing face with donuts and Sour Patch Kids, here we go.
Yeah, I don't even eat Sour Patch Kids anymore, man. That's crazy.
Look at this.
I know.
Love it. What a difference 2 years can make.
Yeah, it's so true.
Patty, thank you so much, man. I'm sure everyone's going to get a ton out of this, especially people on the grind thinking about if they need an agent or just, taking that first contracts before they make it into a place that they're, really enjoying. So thank you for, you've always been a footwork colleague, but thank you for taking the official step and coming on.
I hope the number of views goes up now that you got me on. I've been hyping myself up, so hopefully I delivered.
I can only imagine. I hope
go into the millions.
I hope Pittsburgh just shoots up on the cities,
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I think we might get a Zoom sponsor too. We went into OT this time.
Zoom's definitely not. They're gonna like ban us. We're completely taking advantage of this system.
Yeah. Why would people pay for Zoom Premium if you can just close out and just take a minute break? It's crazy.
I needed some water anyway.
Why would they not want to take a water break? It doesn't make sense. It seems convenient, if anything.
They take a water break. They take a water break in the Prem. Well, they changed it now, but we take water breaks now on our podcast. So
yeah, we did that this year too. We actually took water breaks. Did you guys take water breaks when you came back from COVID?
We didn't have any season games after COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was weird for a bit. We were kind of in preseason.
Yeah, it was just preseason. And then we had water breaks, but that was just because of the heat. Like normally, like when it's too hot, you have to.
Yeah, are they like Sweden where they panic if it gets above 75 degrees?
A little bit, yeah, dude. I forgot about that. Everyone they literally shut down businesses if it gets over a certain temperature in Sweden, and it doesn't get that hot. Like it doesn't get New York hot ever.
And they get paid like 2.5 times the hour or something if they decide to work.
If they don't, they don't have to work, and if they don't work, then they still get paid. Wow.
Yeah,
interesting.
Crazy.
Everywhere is different. So Patty, before we go, we got to bring this back where you do the outro with us.
All right.
So you have to just say the last line. We'll see if you know it. All right.
I probably don't know it, man.
Well, let's see it.
I never really listened to your outro.
You've never listened to the outro?
I turn it off when the show's over, man.
All right. You just have to say "make your own path" at the end. Okay.
Make your own path. All right.
That's it.
Let's do it. Until next time.
Keep moving forward.
Keep learning.
Oh, well, I didn't know when to go, bro.
Now.
Touche.
Now.
Make your own path.
Make your own path. Patty made his own path. All right. See you, everyone.
Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.